When it's time to do a segment on fasting, there are a few people that come to mind, and always near the top of that list is Doug Barry. Doug, it's good to have you with us on Roadmap to Heaven today.
Thanks, Adam. I always appreciate being with you.
All right, let's jump to the Gospels. There is a man possessed by a demon. I believe it's a man, and they try to drive the demon out, and our Lord says this kind can only be driven out by prayer and fasting, not or. And that's what I want to focus on today is the power of prayer and fasting. And sometimes, well, I pray. I'm good, Doug. I pray. Do you fast? Oh, no. But I pray, right? The two go hand in hand.
Yeah, and that is a phenomenal story. It's actually, you got a couple of the synoptic gospels that address the same story, and it's a young man, it's a son, and the father comes to Jesus and he says, "My son is possessed. He falls into fire, he falls into water. Your disciples couldn't cure him," and he's frustrated. Obviously, anybody who goes to Jesus and says, "Your disciples couldn't pull this off, I don't know what to do." I think a lot of us have understood that. Again, the proverbial literal or figurative, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed with my face buried in my hands saying, "Lord, I don't know." Jesus says, if anybody ever wonders if Jesus is a little bit on that kind of demanding side, he says, "How long must I endure you? How long must I be around you? Bring the boy to me." I've always questioned that part because I wondered if he's saying, you know what? I tell you, I show you, how long has this got to go on? But it does also say that there's something in Jesus that says it's not just a free ride. You have to accept this of your own free will and engage in this. Bring the boy to me, and boom, he casts out the demons. Now, the disciples have enough guts, and again, you'll find this broken down in both these two synoptic gospels, to come to Jesus and say, "Why couldn't we do this?" Now, Jesus he has expressed some, frustration with them all, but still they come and ask, "Why couldn't we do this?" And he says, and one of them, the one that you mentioned, is because some of these demons basically can only be cast out through prayer and fasting. There is this physical component to that. Now, that's a powerful gospel to think about for all of us. What is this thing with fasting then? It's, and then the church has given us specific time seasons to fast in different ways, especially during Lent, of course, with abstinence from meat and then so many meals and this and that. Talk about really kind of making it light. It's not hard, people. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, to have three meals in a day, one big one and two small ones, and the two small ones together can't exceed more than well, then I can just adjust the size of my meals and make that work for me, right? Look, fasting is supposed to make us uncomfortable. It's supposed to be in some way have a level and a degree of difficulty. Otherwise, what good is it in doing it?
Well, I was just going to say that because, I can make a list of things in life that I don't particularly enjoy. Having cavities drilled, don't particularly enjoy that one.
Sure.
Having to do yard work, don't particularly enjoy that. However, I feel a lot better if I take care of my teeth, especially if I do have a cavity, getting it filled versus the alternate option of just letting it go on, which sadly I've done and found out the hard way. Get the cavity drilled. My neighbors appreciate it when I take care of the yard, and you know what? I appreciate it too. But this isn't just a superficial physical thing, that, it's good to be uncomfortable every now and then as some sort of physical exercise. There is something that happens on a supernatural level when we fast. And it's, Doug, you talk about training quite a bit with Battle Ready. There's some training that goes on there too, because I think of those nights and I'm like, I'll tell you a quick story. We went bowling with the kids a while back, and I was like, Beth, bowling alley food. I remember that from being a teenager. It's the greasy cheeseburger and the French fries with the cheese sauce and the big old soda. Who needs the oil on the lane? It's all on the food, right? And she goes, no, because if you eat that, then when we get home, you're going to want to eat this. My wife knows me. And so on. And she was right. And if I keep seeking comfort after comfort after comfort, well, you know what? Sin is comfortable too. Lust is comfortable. Gluttony is comfortable. The list goes on. But if I say, okay, let's not be comfortable. Let's abstain from the comfort of how good that cheeseburger would be. It helps prepare us for other hard things in the spiritual life.
Yeah, there's a psychological, emotional piece to the training of those things, that no doubt, and is part of the fruit, the reward of it. This is something, again, we have to remember. And I as many years as I've done this work and traveled and spoken for I'm on 33 years now, traveling and speaking all over the country and outside the country. And I can tell you how many times people have come to me, and there's always that that piece of the puzzle that says, God's not worried about the body. He's only focused on the spiritual. And that's not true. Okay, there is a physical component to who we are. We're created body and soul. We're created. There is this union. In the final resurrection, we come back together, body and soul. Okay, death was not the original plan. All right, the death is the result because of sin entering the world. So this idea that we should just ignore the physical part of who we are and not pay attention to some of these details doesn't jive with the theology of the church. Now, that being said, what you made clear there is important to remember. There is a training, there is a building up of, there is a strengthening of this. I mean, I've been working out since I was 12. Okay, I'm 58. So I can do, and I've probably missed maybe about a month and a half. I was really sick 6 or 7 years ago, and I couldn't do any working out at all. And that was the only time I've gone that long without exercising. So what I'm saying is my body is very used to some form of exercise or workout consistently for over 40 years. Okay. That being said, there are a lot of people who don't do that. So if you throw them into a workout program and there's no preparation, no training, no building up for it, it can throw them into a real chaotic tailspin because their body is going to freak out. I can't understand what you're doing here. My muscles have never done this, and so forth and so forth. When you fast, you in effect can do the same thing emotionally and psychologically to deal with other challenges too. If I'm fasting consistently, we're talking so psychologically, emotionally right now. The spiritual ramifications of fasting when it's offered up are beyond our comprehension. There's mystery to that is, how can fasting effectively help drive out evil? I don't think anybody can fully explain that, except the saints have talked about the power of it. We know the demons are bothered because what you're doing of your own free will is you're denying something that is so intricate to who you are, food. All right. It is one of the most basic things that is an essence of who we are. I've got to eat. It's called living. It's called, sustaining life. Right. And when you deny that and put that in a certain perspective, you're sending a message to the devil that you are taking control over your will and you're driving him away. And there's some amazing mystery to that. But to build up to that psychologically and emotionally plays a part too. I mean, as well as I, that when you're going on certain types of fasting, and this would be, years ago, going half a day is like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. Ash Wednesday, only 3 meals. When are you going to eat your first meal? I'm going to try to stretch it out to noon. And then if I go from noon to 6, and then maybe I'll get another meal in by 9 in the evening, and then I'll psychologically be able to get through the day on 3 meals. That's crazy, I think.
Yeah. I was going to say, let's draw a line here, though, between fasting and abstinence. Both are good. But abstinence is, I'm not going to enjoy this, I'm going to give up chocolate for Lent, or I'm on Fridays, I'm going to do this abstinence from meat all year round, which we are, by the way, real quick disclaimer, it's not just a Lenten thing. On Fridays throughout the year, except solemnities, called to abstain from meat or do some other form of penance on the non-Lenten Fridays, but let's be easy. Abstain from meat. It's easy. It's simple to remember. Fasting, you're literally dying to self, quite literally, because you're not taking in enough food to meet that caloric need. And Doug, I think of that passage where the rich young man goes away sad. Why? Because Jesus said, well, if you really want to follow me, deny yourself. Deny, not, pray. He did say pray, but deny yourself. That's part of it. And I think that's part of what we don't understand is our Lord is saying to us, he doesn't say, understand why I'm telling you to deny yourself and what's happening supernaturally. He just says, do it.
That's a key part there, is the denial. And that's something that you see, the fact that he shows us what that looks like. He shows us that by going into the desert for 40 days, 40 nights, before he begins his public ministry. He denies himself, obviously, when he's carrying the cross, in so many other key places. But there are also places where Jesus shows that it's okay to celebrate and enjoy, like when they come to him and they say, your disciples, they eat and they're not fasting. He goes, time's coming, when the bridegroom's not going to be here, you're going to get that later. So our Lord is not saying that it's bad. He's saying that when you deny yourself, you're putting things in a different perspective. Spiritually speaking, you're strengthening yourself psychologically, emotionally. You're affecting both the spiritual and natural part of who you are. and you're basically mastering your passions. One of the greatest passions we have is the passion to do what you mentioned there, Adam, and that is make things easy. We want to be comfortable. We love excess. Okay. We love the all you can eat buffet. I'm going to put my $10 or $15 or whatever it is down for my buffet, and I'm going to make sure I get my money's worth. People, how many people have had that in their head? Got to get my money's worth. I only had 3 platefuls of food. Yeah, but I paid $15 and it's all you can eat. I should get another plateful of food. Okay. We've got the big screen TV. We've got the AI in the house now, the Siri and the Alexa. Everything is easy. We want the heated seats, the heated steering wheels. We want everything comfortable in excess. Fasting says, and even mortification, we want to bring that into this a little bit here too. Fasting from food, mortifying the senses through some form of physical denial. Denying yourself these excessive comforts and so forth is a powerful way of mastering your passions. And I believe it's the book of Sirach that says, master your passions or they will master you. And fasting is one of the great ways to master passions. And if you can master the eating, there are so many other areas you can master. It helps you. It strengthens you to deal with the anger issues you might have, the lustful issues you might have, the greed, the gossip. If you can master the food, maybe you can master your tongue and stop talking about people the way you shouldn't talk about people. St. Paul says, if you can master your tongue, you can master every member of the body. Okay. So in other words, can we control even what we're saying? Well, there's an area there of discipline and mastery over passions that fasting is a key part to help every other area of who we are.
All right. Now, practically speaking, I want to offer a couple ideas here for our viewers and for our listeners. So for those of you watching, those of you listening, a couple things. As Doug just said, mortification, easy thing to do. Hair shirts aren't really a thing you can go get. I haven't even seen them online anywhere. But, you could go get a wool shirt that's itchy and uncomfortable and wear that. Or, cold showers. That's one of the things the guys that do Exodus 90 do on a regular basis are cold showers. I like to use timers. There are some things in life that, I have a sore back sometimes and I need to put heat on it. It'd be real easy to say, I'm going to take a nice long 30-minute hot shower. I don't even know if our hot water heater has the capability of doing that, but say, no, I'm not. I'm going to put a 3-minute timer on. And that's, you get in, wash everything, get out, done. Don't linger. Same thing with food. Oh, I could eat the all you can eat. No, and I'm going to have small portions intentionally, whether it's that food, that physical mortification, that abstinence. These are all good things. But Doug, here's where I'd like to go to kind of wrap this up today. Is this idea of, transactional theology, I like to call it, that, all right, Lord, I'm doing this for you. So what are you going to do I'm fasting for you. So what are you going to do for me?
Right.
And really, it's not, first Fridays, first Saturdays, same thing. We think about it like, well, they said do this, and then we get these promises. No, it's about you draw closer to our Lord, you're going to be close to his grace. Scott Hahn has a great book out about this right now, Holy is His Name. And the whole idea is, where does holiness come from? It comes from God. So if we draw close to God, it'll be a lot easier to be holy. And so in all of this, Doug, I guess that's really the question I have is, whether it's the fasting, the mortification, the abstinence, when we talk about the supernatural, it's not so much, all right, God, I'm doing this for you, so what are you going to do for me? But that willful choice, using the intellect and the will to say, I want to be closer to you, then God's probably going to welcome us closer to him and give us that grace.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. God, there's no way, as Scripture says, you can outdo God in generosity. There's no way. And it shouldn't be, this, I'll do this, you do that sort of attitude. It should be out of love. What do you do out of love for someone? You give and you don't ask for anything in return. If you truly love, you're willing to sacrifice. And you don't sacrifice with the attitude that I've got to make sure I get something back. But God, in his infinite goodness and unbelievable, mysterious power and love, always responds to whatever we give him. And that is just, that you just cannot escape that reality. When we fast and pray, when we mortify, when we take these more challenging steps of putting ourselves in ways that will help master the passions and shape the mind and the heart and deepen that spiritual connection with him, deep dialogue type prayer, not just checkbox prayer, but dialogue. I want to communicate. I'm begging to have that deeper relationship. Fasting, Lord, I really want to make this a gift to you. And I would say to people out there who would say, oh, that's great. You guys are on Catholic radio talking about this. Maybe you understand this. Look, I don't understand this. Okay, I don't know anybody who understands the mystery. I've asked many priests and very holy people out there questions about certain things regarding faith, and they'll say, well, let me give you this answer. And then some of them will say, but then again, Doug, we don't always know exactly what God's doing with this and that. We know the church is teaching the deposit of faith. We know this and that, but we don't know necessarily how God is actually changing a heart and a soul when it comes to these moments. So I would, on one hand, I would add, you gave some great practical ideas. I wait sometimes if I'm going to eat, I'll wait 15 or 30 minutes longer. Okay, I'll wait until noon, or I'll wait until 3, or I'm going to eat half as much as I was going to eat, or I won't put salt on the food this time, or if it really needs it, or I won't use ketchup, or I won't drink anything other than water, or, you can find ways to do this and really challenge and test yourself. Think outside the box on those things, people, and let's all get on board with that challenging of that. But in general, Adam, this is one of those things, fasting and mortification, when we deepen that relationship with God, and that's exactly like you said, what he wants to draw us deeper and closer to him. I'll wrap it up with this thought. When the Prince of Theologians, St. Thomas Aquinas, had written the most amazing things, and still to this day is considered one of the most amazing writers and deep spiritual minds out there, towards the end of his life had a spiritual ecstasy where God touched him and showed him things. And when he came out of this moment, he wanted to burn everything he'd written. He says, everything I've written is straw compared to what God just showed me. This was a man that it is said could dictate to 5 different people, 5 different topics to write down on theological matters. Like, I can't even dictate, okay, this is how you change the oil of the car. This is how you bake cookies. This is how you change out a light fixture. Now, I can do all of those things individually, but to dictate to 5 different people to write it down and make it a book, he was able to do that on things like the Trinity, and the Immaculate Conception. And this is a man who was given gifts that we can't comprehend. And still, he says, everything God just showed me, everything I've written pales, it's straw in comparison. So the depth of what God wants to do in our lives and how he wants to bring us to him, I would say this: God doesn't want us just walking on water like Peter. He wants us running on it. He wants us to have that faith that says mountains move and trees get up and be replanted. He can do this. He wants the depth, and we can grow closer with the deeper prayer, the fasting, and the mortification.
Yeah, as you say that, we don't have to understand and know fully. And we're not going to be able to know fully on this side of the veil. Let's be honest about that. And along those lines, I don't understand how water filtration works, but that doesn't mean I'm taking my glass and just getting unfiltered Mississippi River water and drinking that with my afternoon snack. No snack. We're fasting. We're talking about fasting. But here's the other thing. When we're fasting, and let's wrap up with this, because Doug and I will be the first to tell you this thing right here, the rosary. For those of you listening, you can't see it, but we're holding up a rosary. When you're fasting and it's hard, that's the time to really couple it with prayer. Don't give in. Don't give in and say, "Oh, I you know what? To heck with it. No one's gonna fault me for going to eat that cheeseburger." Go pray your rosary and ask the Lord to give you the grace you need to keep fasting. Because, Doug, throughout all of this, the one thing that we've kept coming back to without explicitly saying it is that, what can you give God that he doesn't already have or he couldn't take for himself? Nothing, right? But everybody could give God gold, Everybody could give God a precious something or other. No one but you can make you fast. No one can say, I am willingly going to have Adam Wright give up food other than Adam Wright. It's your free will. And it's our free will is the one gift no one else can give God, only you and I. So make that choice, do some fasting outside of Lent all year round. I think last time we were joking, Doug, that Exodus 3:13, 365 days a year minus the 52 Sundays.
Right.
But for legal reasons, not Exodus 3:13. But the Exodus guys are friends of ours, so we're probably
Right.
good there. But fast, and pray.
Yeah, exactly. Take it to the next level, and make sure that when you find yourself struggling with these things, I just want to emphasize to everybody, don't beat yourself up for your humanity, but keep persevering. Remember that scripture verse. Jesus says, those who persevere to the end will find salvation, not those who figure it out and never fall again, not those who never make another mistake, not those who have all the intellectual powers of the world. No, it's those who persevere. Whether you're, a rocket scientist or someone who just struggles getting through high school, okay, which I'm one of those guys who barely got out of high school. They gave me 6 credits to get rid of me. Imagine that, right? I never went to college, right? I'm a standard operating everyday Catholic. I was a clock in, clock out Catholic, hand the holy water font, walk in, clock in, check out after mass. That was it. No matter what you are, where you are, what level you're at, intellectually, spiritually, whatever, persevere. Don't quit. The devil wants us to give it up and not move forward. So no matter what your situation, persevere.
All right, Doug, let's honor the Blessed Mother because she's done so much to encourage us in this message of prayer and fasting. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death.
The hour of our death. Amen.
Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Prayer and fasting, friends, do it. Do it. And on that note, we're going to send you out to a break here on Roadmap to Heaven.